the voice of Ari, and next to me, Christal.
Good morning, SVG. Good morning to the rest of the region and the rest of the world. Like Ari said, welcome to Activated Mornings. It's an interactive program, and the time is now 7:15. You can call us at 457-9997. You can WhatsApp us at 457-9994. If you're just joining us for the very first time, thank you so much for joining. If you have been listening since I don't even know how long, thank you. And you notice that there has been some changes to our programming for this segment here. Normally we have Sion Marshall. However, we made a little change here and there throughout the entire course of the program. Now, this morning we want to touch a little bit on missing girls in St. Vincent and the Grenadines very briefly. So we had a report of a missing teenage girl, and yesterday we learned that she was found. Let me just say, first off, thank God that she was found and she is safe and sound, and that we didn't have to come back and talk about a homicide or even worse, the young lady still being missing. Now, I have a small problem with the number of cases of missing teenage girls here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And this is my problem. You notice every time we have a missing girls report that overwhelmingly people's responses are she gone meet fella, she gone do this, she gone do that. Always something with her leaving to go and meet a young man because she feels that she is grown and she can do whatever she wants. And for a very long time, I've always said, oh gosh, you should not jump to that conclusion and give everything the benefit of the doubt. And it shouldn't come to a case where people overwhelmingly resolve or resort to that response. But I could kind of understand why people think that way, even though it's not right. I kind of understand why people think that way because we're having, and I think it's so many missing girls reports, and then they're being found. And of course, I would understand why we would not know exactly what happened in that situation. But it's like the boy who cried wolf. Every time a girl goes missing, she's found. Yeah, she's found. Thank God. And then another girl goes missing and she's found. After a while, it becomes a norm that when a girl goes missing, she is found. So you realize that people are gonna turn a blind eye to that because she will be found. And it's not a case where she was abducted because we never hear of a charge of abduction. It's always a case where she ran away. So I get it. I understand. And unfortunately, will it become the norm or is it becoming the norm that we're not going to take missing girls reports seriously? Because they always turn back up. So we're not going to have the police going all out of their way to search, although they do their work. Are we not going to have, or should we be mindful that we're not going to have people in the community going all out to search because they always turn back up? It's a bittersweet thought for me. I don't know. I think we're either at that point or I was probably naive for a very long time and we've been at that point for a while. But I don't know. You can hit us up and let us know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I think it's very scary because as a reporter, I've gone on some of these scenes. I've spoken to some of these parents. Some of these parents genuinely, believe that their children are missing. And a lot of these parents know exactly what is happening because they could tell you, she's at XYZ's house. I know where she is. I know that she's, and unfortunately, in a lot of the cases, it's always some guy that is older or has influence, or maybe a van driver or a conductor. And I hate to generalize, but that's usually how it goes. And it's worrying because, as you said, Crystal, what happens when people are desensitized to it and okay, someone goes missing and no one cares. But look at the case with Veron Primus. That woman was missing, that he had her in his basement for what was it, months? That is very scary, and you have to appeal to these little girls. It's not as sweet as you think. The older man ain't as sweet as you think. To the older men, do better. Do better. How could you be excited for a secondary school girl?
That's a question that has come up.
As
And because our moral compass is far different, we cannot understand, we cannot answer it. But on a serious note, right, to the young girls, maybe you do not understand the gravity or severity of a missing persons report and how the expectation is that seriously by at least the majority of the people. And I am worried that the time that somebody is missing and not run away, I'm fed up missing, that we are not going to actively go out and look for that person and save that person. I think you don't even realize it, but you are abusing a system that is put in place to, I don't want to say protect, I can't say protect because to take care of citizens of SVG. It's an abuse.
Well, it already started because once you see a missing girl photo go up, you feel check the comments.
Go
It's going
home.
to be this. You go home. We know where you're there. Check that man house.
Oh, jeez.
It already started, and it's not like it's far fetched that they could be abducted. But if you keep crying wolf,
Nobody's gonna pay attention.
nobody's
to
gonna
you.
care. At some point, people are just gonna stop caring.
Yeah, it's upsetting to me now. It's overbearing. It's really overbearing. Now, outside of the young girls who might leave home knowingly or unknowingly to meet a significant other, there are some young girls who do not feel safe in their own homes because maybe the parents or guardians are being abusive. And it's unfortunate that it had to get to the point where they have to like run away and then the parents have to file a missing persons report because they probably genuinely don't know where the child is. But situations like that also need to be rectified because it boils down to the same thing. We're abusing a system that is meant to save and protect our young girls. I'm getting to the point where it's just really overbearing. And the thing is, there's little control over it because obviously maybe in some cases the parents are frustrated and they're really fed up, so they just go into the police with it. As Angel in Trinidad says, what to do?
Yeah, I tell you what to do. Anna. A lot of these children think they're adults also. And I am telling the parents, choose violence.
No.
Go to that home. Beat the child, beat the man, beat the parents. If the man have parents,
no,
living
we
with the parents,
cannot.
beat everybody.
We cannot do that. We cannot resort to literal violence.
Resort to violence. Today.
No.
It's Friday.
It's Friday, but we cannot resort to literal violence.
Drink the Guinness, pull them out the house.
No, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. But I mean, for the cases where is it that the parents really know who this teenage girl is getting herself involved in and they can't do anything about it?
I mean, you see, what does consent mean? What does the consent
We're going to
mean?
consent.
Does it mean that I'm now at the age where I can do what I want?
No. 15, I don't like the age of consent. I don't like it. It does not run parallel to other things that we expect of our teenagers. It doesn't. And of young people, it does not. I don't like it. But that's a conversation for another day. What do we do now as a society? How do we crack down on girls who run away, girls who go missing? How do we crack down on that? Because it's evident that we don't have a problem with abduction.
Is that abduction, though?
We don't have a problem with kidnapping.
I don't know. I can't think of a case where somebody was kidnapped outside of Veron Primus. When have there been other cases of actual kidnapping?
Off the top of my head, I cannot recall.
I can't recall. It's not something.
There may have been like They may have been in between. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, but
It's not something we struggle with in St. Vincent.
yeah, but if you're on the outside looking and it keeps saying a missing persons report, you're going to assume that we have a problem with kidnapping.
And trafficking.
Ooh, and that's another thing that you need to be aware of: human trafficking too.
Mm-hmm.
We're crying wolf, we're crying a lot of wolf here, and we need to cut it out. Oh gosh, ah, what is so appealing? What is? I guess the young girls that run away to go and meet a significant other don't understand what they possibly might be getting themselves in. But I'm not going to use the rest of this time to, because I mean, influence is a very, very powerful thing. And you
Very
said
true.
it, very powerful thing. The guys, I can give you a particular story of an instance. A male, he's not working, obviously finished secondary school, but he managed to lure a secondary school student out of school while she had the chance and the choice to stay in school with the parents senior. She chose to go and meet this fellow. But the guy in the situation, this is my problem too, right? It was focused so much on the females. He thought that it was fit, and you made reference to it too, right? He thought it was fit to ask this young lady to leave school, leave the opportunity to get an education, to learn, to go in some place to do whatever, only God knows, but we all know, and then just walk back to school like if nothing happened. Men, boys. I think it's because there's a bit of comfort with knowing that there is no consequence to their actions.
And I think that's the problem right there. No consequence for actions.
So they repeatedly do it. Older men who prey on young girls, there's little to no consequence, because more than likely you're passing money, you're passing something, and you're making the girl comfortable. So she's not going to report it. She's not going to say that something is wrong. And you carry on with the merry way. The reason you continue is because you're allowed to continue with it.
Yeah, we as a society to blame too. Because we always have it like joke. Whoa, them van money with them college girls, them secondary school girls. Ha 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 ha. It ain't funny.
If the college girl is 18 plus, that's her business.
And if they're not,
Well, then that's our business.
That is our
But
business.
the problem is, too, right? What is a norm, what is legally acceptable for us is for a 15-year-old to have a consensual sexual relationship with another guy.
With another guy?
With a guy. With a guy.
Oh, but the parents are also encouraging them
with
things.
somebody, because it's male and female.
Let me paint you a picture that's not far-fetched. You're on the poverty line. You have 5 children.
Jesus.
A man comes into the picture interested in your 14-year-old, your 15-year-old. He's well off. He has a business. He has disposable income. He starts buying groceries for the house, doing over your roof, painting over the house, sending the other children to school. All of a sudden, it's okay. Welcome him. That's your daughter, man. You're proud. Them things disgusting. It's disgusting. So you what we doing? What are we doing? For the parents that don't know and the parents that struggling, my heart goes out to you. But the parents that do know, you're pimping out your children, and it's disgusting.
Maybe that's why some girls run away too. Because they just started the abuse.
And then there's that.
Welfare, not welfare, but the ministries, the respective ministries would normally get involved in cases like these. But I think they need to do a bit more. Maybe they do it within the schools themselves, but radio-wise, a bit more promotion on where girls can go when they're feeling abused, where boys can go when they're feeling abused, who could they turn to nationally, whether it be police or the Ministry of National Mobilization. Where's a quick turn, instead of having to turn, or maybe, I mean, in schools they would have somebody to turn to, but if you do a quick survey, I'm really curious. If you do a quick survey, where can you go if you're feeling abused, whether physically, emotionally, or otherwise, sexually abused? Where can you turn to as a 13, 14, 15-year-old? What do you think you could turn to?
That's a very good question.
If If it is that they can't give you a proper answer, the correct answer right away, then we need to do a bit more work in teaching them. All right.
Who's in
Running
charge of
into
it?
the arms of another guy is not the solution.
Who's that responsibility? Welfare?
You know,
Who
Ministry,
does
yeah,
that?
yeah, Ministry of
Yeah.
National Mobilization.
Okay.
But you know another thing too. The other day there was a missing girls report. The young lady was found, but in that home, in that household, was another parent. You're just as ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Yep.
let me say the dialect way. People just know and don't care to report.
Mm-hmm.
You have a young girl in your house who does not belong in your house, and her mother's not checking on you. You're not curious. Come on, man. We need to be parents. Anyway, 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30. We're gonna break for some ads and come back with traffic talk. Or activated morning would resume at the top of the hour.